Kiga.
And you really can save quite considerable amounts of money.
That's Adam Kirtley. Well, senior citizens, they're among the most affected by high energy prices. Bill Lawrence is the manager of the Nan Mackay Community Holding Council. They run 35 groups a week for older people. Hello, Bill.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm doing grand.
Good. What's happening just now?
Well, two clubs have just left, and we've got a lunch club coming in for a two-course meal.
Right, and of course, older folks are very affected by prices. What do they say to you?
Well, I did a little spot survey there, and it doesn't matter about fluctuation. The only fluctuation is up the way. Even though my finger's on the ball with the costs, and with older people, I was quite shocked. One gentleman said, I don't put my heating on, so he doesn't heat his house. And he's about £300 a year, he says, and everyone else is somewhere between 400, 450 a quarter, and there was a whole range of prices in there. It takes up their entire life. That's what the turn everything round. Then the cost of the fuel and the heating their home is a major part of everyday living.
And Bill, do you get the impression that the people are really angry about this? Or do you just accept it as a fact of life?
They don't believe they can change anything. It doesn't matter whoever's in power or whatever the companies say. They don't believe they can change it or affect it in any way. There was little cries of revolution.
The interesting thing too is, as Adam Kirtley was saying, people hope that everyone can change suppliers, but I'm guessing that the older the customers are, the less likely they are to change.
Well, we had 91, 92-year-old, a couple who changed several years ago into one of these prepaid. You decide your amount for, I think it's like a year or 2 years. And unfortunately, by the end of it, it wasn't successful. So they do look, but it's not as easy as the gentleman, and no disrespect to him, but it is not as easy as he's saying, and there doesn't seem to be the major savings.
Is there much help out there for people to change, or do you kind of really need to know what you're doing?
Well, you do need to know what you're doing. We sometimes get people come along and help. There are organisations that can help, but even me, that's been slightly clever, sometimes cannot tell too readily if they're another supplier giving advice on the pretext of maybe saving energy, but actually wanting you to swap supplier. The difficulty is there is a major issue that the fuel cost and food are the two major things that are getting talked about and affect people at the moment.
Well, I think I'll ask the audience as well. They can text in 80295 to tell us if they have switching problems and how much their bills are. But I'm guessing the real problem for older people, Bill, is that the cold kills people in the winter.
And it does. And Age Scotland have got great helplines. There's other helplines we can put people in. If they come in and ask us, we can signpost people into help. We're not an organisation that can actually then you can't physically say to someone, I recommend you go and change here or change there. And I'm a clever man-ish, and I sometimes can't work it out. It's not as easy as simply going and changing a supplier. There's so many factors become involved in it.
Bill, give me a sense of how it affects people on a day-to-day basis. I mean, are you aware of a lot of people who say they think twice before putting the heating on?
They don't put it on. That's what I'm saying. They just will not. We can have over the course of the week 300 to 400 people in here, whether you're the lunch clubs or you can come and stay in a group in the morning, stay for your lunch, and then stay till later on in the afternoon. And you can actually be here all day. So it actually works out that we can heat this building cheaper than a whole load of people who are heating their houses. They just don't put it on.
Yeah, and people will come to you to be heated.
Totally. And with the exercise classes and all the other activities we do, yes, there's still a sense of community, but there's a sense of just they cannot affect the bigger decisions, and the complex conversations that gentleman had there is rocket science. It's not that simple.
Do you know, people backing you up here by text, someone saying switching suppliers is a nightmare. The charges for coming out of your contract make it not worthwhile. Jay Harkins says, energy costs, we should have a Levison-style judicial inquiry, get the spivs under oath before a judge and questioned by a QC who understands the business. 80295 is the text. And what about your heating bills as a place that supplies shelter and heat to all people?
We're horrendous. We're horrendous.
How much do you pay?
The treasurer's sitting out there listening to the radio just now, and if I get this wrong, she'll kick me. I think it's something like $1,400 a quarter. But the good thing is we hopefully will be moving into a new building soon. We're an old porta cabin, and we do put on activities Monday to Friday, all day, and it is horrendous. Our heating bills are terrible. Fortunately, the generosity, we do generate maybe about 14 grand of our own funding. But if it wasn't for Glasgow City Council and the Health Board and the Social Work Department working with us, then we couldn't do what we're doing. There's a big partnership going on here, but some of the bigger things people don't feel they can affect a changeover. It's like a conversation that's unrelated to them, especially when it boils down to the politics of it.
Bill, fascinating. Thank you very much indeed, Bill Lawns. And he's hinting too that even to change it's online, it's difficult, and we've got so many texts about this. 80295. We'll get to them.